Hello, everybody. It's me, KG Chris Gardner of the Houston Round Bar Review. And joining me is someone you should know, remember from before the season started. And I'll just let her introduce herself and pronounce her name so I won't butcher it. How are you, ma'am? And your name is?
Hello, Mfon Udoka.
And
Doing well.
she's battling allergies just like I am here in H-Town, but go figure, it's all over the place. She's the sister of the Houston Rockets head coach, the team that has won 11 in a row. How does that feel?
It's so fun, isn't it? It's fun to watch. I'm happy, of course. I think everybody's happy, but when you look at the growth of what they've done over the course of the season, it's trending in the right direction. It might have taken a little longer than people would have expected, and maybe the players themselves and coaching staff, but it's fun. I'm so happy.
What has been different, in your opinion, in the reasons for the winning streak?
I think it's a combination of things. When you have a really young team, it takes time. It's a new staff, that takes time. It also is, you've had injuries all season and different lineups and people in and out. So it just is one of those things that it takes a minute. And when you are changing a culture and building a new culture and just trying to do things a different way, it's going to take some time. But I think you're seeing now the end result of that.
Before the season started, we talked about it, and you kind of echoed your brother's belief that the Rockets would make the playoffs this year. I thought you were kind of wrong on that, but they're a game out of the play-in spot. Are you surprised at all by the success in the last month?
I am not surprised. My initial thought for the year, before everything started, was that they're a young team and they're hungry, and that they would sneak up and beat some people early on before like the rest of the league caught on to what kind of team they were. And I think they did that at the very beginning, and then there was just a stretch of some really bad games, bad losses, where you could see just youth showing up and inexperience and all those other things. So my hope then was that these early losses, or those losses that they should not have had, would come back to bite them, later on in the season. And I think we're right there with that, hoping that they can at least make the play-in. But yeah, it's been fun. You see they have improved. I think the city is happier, the fans, the team is probably, I'm sure, having this first bit of success for a lot of them. So it's going in the right direction regardless of whatever happens at the end of the year, but I'm still hoping that they sneak up in there.
Rocket fans are happy. They are thrilled. They are ecstatic. A month ago, that was not the case. And honestly, they were on my show. They were talking about, well, let's look forward to the draft. Let's look forward to this, that, and the other. But now the plane is right there, Chris. I'm hearing all these. They're excited. They're happy. They're hopeful. They look forward to next season. And I'm like, well, pump your brakes. They still have a chance after playing this season, just in that short turnaround of 4 weeks. How often do you and Coach Ime talk about the Rockets, if at all?
We text more than talk. I try not to, overwhelm him with anything. I don't think he needs to hear anything from me as far as basketball goes, but just checking on him, see how he's doing. And it's kind of funny at the little jokes that we have, because he doesn't have social media at all. And so I'll send him like random things that pop up about his team, and, the funny things that Tari might do, or somebody might post something that's a meme. I mean, it's all in fun, and it's fun to kind of send him those things to just break up maybe a little of the seriousness. But yeah, it's just it's exciting, and I'm happy for him. I'm happy for all of them. I know a lot of the coaches on the staff and with the Portland ties and stuff, and it's just fun to see the carryover from what he had done before.
When is the last time you were in town to watch a Rockets game?
I was there over Christmas, so I left right at like after January. I think January 2nd. So the last game I think I saw them beat Detroit, and then I left town.
Okay, see, you didn't have to bring that up. See, I'm a Pistons fan, blah 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 blah. But yeah, that was the last time I saw you. So yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, and then they came up here to Portland like a couple weeks ago, so I saw them here, and then they're coming back in a couple weeks. So yeah.
Will you? Is there a chance you'll be in H Town before the season ends?
Probably not, but I did say I told a lot of the staff and like security and Square and all those guys. I was like, I'll be back when we make the plan. So my hope is that I do come back in, I'd say, what, less than a month.
Oh yeah, probably. You see, the season ends in 2 weeks. So
Yeah.
so yeah.
So I'm keeping my fingers crossed, but I always thought that was a realistic goal, honestly. And I know a lot of people probably didn't think that, but my hope was always to come back at the end when we make the plan. When?
I was wrong, and I admit it. I predicted they win 36 games, and they've already passed that with 9 to go. I'm good with that.
I thought 50, 40, 42 games. I thought that was pretty reasonable.
How are you basketball career? Are you still having connections with the Nigerian national team?
Um, Connections, no, but I do still follow. I mean, it kind of is one of those things that I'm more with FIBA and FIBA Africa and that kind of lets me, go watch the team and kind of keep in contact that way. I'm on the Players Commission with FIBA, which is a 4-year term. So I went to Switzerland in January, and we had a bunch of meetings. And then the women's team qualified for the Olympics when they played in Belgium the following month. And then I'm considering maybe going to the Olympics. I'm trying to figure it out right now to see logistically how it works because, while they say it's in Paris, the games are actually in Lille, which is, an hour and a half outside of Paris. So, if I'm going to do all that, I just got to figure out how I'm going to make it work. And do I want to go to other events? And there's a lot to think about. And so I'm trying to figure that out right now.
Just your thoughts on how women's basketball has grown in popularity, skill set, just within the last 5 years.
Isn't it great? It's something that we all kind of knew about. I mean, in my heart, and I'd say in anybody who's played basketball, has always been a big deal to us as females, as women who play the game. But the reach now is larger. The star power is larger. NIL deals make players more visible, but also just having games on not just like cable outlets, but like, regular TV, ABC, like they're playing right now. And, between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and Paige Beckers and all of these players, the one player I'm really upset to have learned about, and I think a lot of us feel this way, is Diasha Fair, and I don't know if I said her name right, but I was shocked to learn that she was the 3rd leading scorer in history, and I just learned about that like a week ago.
Yeah.
I thought that was really poor coverage. How often do you have 2 prolific scorers in the same year and you only hear about one? And we know why. I mean, I understand. I think all of us have our reasons. We know why certain players are covered and not. But just that alone, it's usually like, every few years you'll see somebody who's a great scorer and is going to threaten the all-time scoring record, like Kelsey Plum was just a few years ago. But the fact that we have, Juju coming in and just hooping as a freshman, and I saw her two Christmases ago in Portland at a tournament, and I was like, she is as advertised. So it's just great. And I think the stupid jokes and the criticism and all the negative things that people say about the game need to stop. I mean, there's still going to be people that say stupid things like that, but I think the results speak for themselves. And it's great that we have parity now, that we don't have necessarily the same teams, the Connecticut's, the Tennessees. Like when I was playing, it was always UConn, Tennessee, but we have more parity, and that makes the game interesting. And I think that's why the men's tournament has always been so great, because on almost any given day, someone could beat someone in the NCAA tournament. Whereas, I'd say 5 to 10 years ago for the women, it was like a for sure thing that all number one seeds are going to get to the Final Four. So it's great. I love it. I love being a fan. I don't even have to play. I don't have to coach. I love just being a fan.
And how we got to know each other was I covered the comments years ago, and I try to do my part to help recognize the talent of players in women's basketball for a long time. And I'm not thrilled about what's going on in my alma mater at Houston, but that's another story. This is about you and the Rockets and other parts of women's basketball. Have you coached?
I have. I'd say I've done some high school. I've done some skill work with younger kids, and I've also did a little stint with the women's team, the Nigerian national team. So yeah, it's one of those things where I love it. However, I could never, I don't want to say never, but the realities of how stressful it is, and I am watching as a fan, and I cannot handle the closeness of the games. And like I watch Ime sometimes, and a lot of coaches, but Ime specifically, and I'm just like, his face is just the same. He's always got his eyebrows furrowed, and he always was like that. But just even keel all the time, and I'm in my mind, in my head, I'm just like, how? Like, I can't handle that. And maybe that's a skill, and maybe that's something you learn to kind of let go as you further into your coaching career. But yeah, it's fun. It's just fun. I prefer coaching for fun more, because the stress and the pressure, I just don't think it's for me.
So if DePaul said, Mfon, we want you to come join the coaching staff as an assistant, that'd be a no?
An assistant would be a little bit easier because there's less on you, and it would be fun as far as like player development and just being a motivator. And I don't know how great I would be at X's and O's, even though I know the game. I know it all takes work, right? But I would never say no. But leading a team, being a head coach with all the pressure, and you're supposed to win all the time, and that's a lot. It's a lot.
Okay, I'm going to flip the script on you and say, okay, so if Houston said, Mfon, your brother's in town, he coaches the Rockets. How about you come in as an assistant at University of Houston women's basketball?
You never know. I think fit is always a thing. What is it that you're looking for? I know I do, and I can offer a lot to the game. I mean, I played for a long time. I'm not just a player, but I'm a student of the game, I'd say. I know a lot, and I know that I can give back a lot for sure. But again, it's just that the coaches I know, and I know quite a few, Ime included, it's kind of their whole life. And I've never looked at it as basketball wanting to be my entire existence. It was never the first dream of mine. So maybe that's why. I mean, when I was growing up, there wasn't even a possibility. But my first dream was like, I was Nigerian. So our dad was like, you're going to be a doctor. You're going to be that. Okay, I'm going to be a doctor. But I'm not into science. So forget that. And then my first athletic dream was to be a gymnast, believe it or not, because
Really?
I grew up watching Mary Lou Retton in 1984, and it was just the most amazing thing for me watching the Olympics and her getting her first like perfect 10. And at the time, my mom let me do gymnastics, and I was already like taller than any Olympic gymnast anyway. But I didn't know that I couldn't do the same things that she could do because I was already too big. But that was my first dream. I wanted to be a gymnast, which is why I adore gymnastics to this day. Mike Moser's wife, Tasha, I remember watching her, in the Olympics, and I just love it. And then my second dream was probably just to see the world. I think that might have had something to do with my dad being from a different place, but I was very fascinated with Egypt. So I've been wanting to go to Egypt my entire life, like for the last 30 something years. I still haven't gotten there, but it's on my list.
Wrapping it up with you, from your point of view, what do the Rockets need to add in the offseason to further their growth development for the playoffs and championship in the future?
I'd say shooting. That's always a premium. That's always something that is in demand. Shooting, an athletic kind of rim protector, big, or somebody like that can, that's a defender, a little bit more into defense. And I think they're good everywhere else. I think the problem they might have is like we have a lot. Like, how are we going to work with all of this? Because if you think about Jalen, Tari, Jabari, Amen, Cam, like that's a lot right there as is, and they haven't even scratched the surface of their potential yet. So it's so exciting to have that to work with and to choose from, and to see how he's going to mix and match lineups and things like that. But I do think they need an athletic rim protector. Even Steven Adams is there. Another one, and then shooting, I'd say for sure.
Thank you, friend. Thank you very much. We kind of did this spur of the moment arrangement. It's always good to talk to you. Good to see you.
Thank you.
And maybe I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Yes, let's go. I'm not going to I'm gonna try anyway to not, freak out over these next few games. But like every game I've been watching, I'm just like, okay, one more, get one more. And then we need Golden State to lose. Can they just start losing? That'd be great.
So you're gonna watch Sunday's game against the Mavericks, I assume, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I've been watching basketball like all week. This is my favorite time of year. I really try to do absolutely nothing. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to do anything. I just want to watch the NCAA tournament, men's and women's. And then when you throw the Rockets up in there, it's just like it's just perfect for me because I can just watch it from like sun up to sundown. It's just the best.
Mfon Udoka, Rockets head coach Ime Udoka's sister, who I've known for a couple of years. Thank you very much.
Decades. Let's say
Yes,
decades, because at this point it's decades, and that's wild.
it is. It's good to see you again. Thank you very much for taking time to do this, and keep in touch as always.
I plan on doing that. And I hope to see you in a couple weeks down there in the play-in. Let's go.
Take care.
Take care. Bye.